Oh yeah, here we go. Here we go. So, let's introduce the panel real quick. First person we have is Mr. Ronnie Walker. This is the mayor of Ruston, Louisiana. Yes, raise your hand, Yes, sir. After that, we have Carla Aguero. Got you. Founder and CEO of Houston Wellness Workshops for Women. That's that booth over there. You see that booth? Nothing but a bunch of mental health and wellness goodness for you over there, right? Next person we have is Brandon Manning, a Louisiana personal injury attorney at Manning Law Firm. Go ahead and ready to that. Yeah. So we're going to talk about leadership and leading with the vision panel. So let's start with the first question. Y'all ready?
Yes.
Let's go. Let's get it. So this one is for Miss Carter, right? This question is for Miss Carter. If you guys want to piggyback on anything she wants to say, you are free to do so, okay? All right, so explain the time you were discouraged and wanted to give up.
All right. Well, thank you so much for asking me that question. Going deep right off the bat. I'm super excited to be here. A time when I felt discouraged and wanted to give up. You know, I'm thinking about when I was laying on the ice in November of 2019, trying to be a super mom, took my boys ice skating, and broke my leg. Oh, which is why I'm wearing flats. And everywhere I go, I carry my scar with me as a reminder of a time when I was like, trying to people please. The people being the small people, right? And feeling like, you know what was this for, right? How did I end up in this situation with a broken leg? And honestly, from that, I realized that we have to look for God's hand in everything. We have to look for the positive outcome in every situation. So I'm literally writing a book called Gifts from a Broken Leg. Because here I was stuck on the couch, literally, for 6 weeks. If water was coming, it had to be brought to me. If food was going to be cooked, it had to be done by someone else. Because you're trying to coordinate your hands with crutches at the same time. Like, this is a challenging scenario. So I honestly felt really low and discouraged and wondering why I'm having my first limb break, of a major bone as a 30-something-year-old, okay, and a mom. But honestly, it was an amazing opportunity to gain a different perspective. When you are sat down on your behind and there's not much you can do, you truly get the opportunity to birth some incredible ideas. So, yeah, that would be my moment.
So in that moment, right? So that was a deep moment. We came off the bat with that one, Miss Carter. We came off the bat. So,
and you were supposed to ask my name before you went deep. Maybe offer me some flowers. You're like, let's talk about a time you want to give up.
You went straight to it. So in that time, could you reiterate? What stopped you from not dwelling in that space? You know what I'm saying? What made you get out of that space? What was so exciting for you to be where you are right now and do what you do during that transition?
Look, I love what y'all brought earlier about positivity, right? A positive mindset. Number one, that's been a part of who I want to be and how I want to show up in the world forever, right? From the very beginning. Number two, now I have to show up for other people. Like, these little boys are looking at me like, what you gonna do next, right? I was thinking about falling apart. Right now, I'm going to army crawl off the ice, okay? All right. Living, with other people that you have to be accountable to and accountable for can really be an inspiration.
Gotcha.
And I think number three is just knowing that I was designed for a purpose with a purpose.
Woo. See, that's a hard one to relate to because I've never broken a limb before. You know what I'm saying? I may have sprained my wrist and I was like, ah! And I was thinking about giving up already. You got a whole broken leg and you're like, man, I'm thinking about giving back to the people. There's a whole bunch of things that come to my mind. That's amazing. That's amazing. We're not built like that. We're like, my leg is broken, I'm done for it, ain't no more coming back. And look at you. You're spreading positivity. You're giving out mental health, wellness tips, and goodies, creating a book. You're an author. You are out there giving.
I'm not an author yet, but I'm working.
We're speaking to each other. So yeah, that's awesome. So yeah, having that positive mindset, even in the darkest situations of your life, you gotta have that positive mindset to get you out of there. All right. Did you guys want to talk about any
I guess first, thanks for inviting me. I'd love to be here with Tech family. I think maybe the lowest point I ever got was after 7 years ago when I was elected mayor. And, you know, you chase that car like a dog does, and you finally catches that car, and then you didn't know what to do with it. That's kind of where I was. I looked at what our needs were in the city, especially on our south side. You know, we had $250 to $300 million worth of infrastructure that needed to be fixed, and a budget of $78 million. I mean, you can't. The math doesn't work out. So I think that was, you know, a low point, but at the same time it was a great growing point because we went to the people. We showed them quite literally houses that if we had a 2-inch rain would flood, not with rainwater, but with sewer. And we showed folks on the north side of town, the east side of town, the west side of town, what was happening on the south side of our city. And because of that, they passed a tax that we were requesting, and we've been able to do $150 million worth of work in the last 6 years, and most of it on the south side of our town. So sometimes you feel like it's the lowest point, but it really can turn around just like you're saying, and you can make something, what's they'll say, make lemonade out of lemons. I mean, it's attack the problem. I mean, there's always a solution if you just look and work hard enough.
Woo! See that? I like that. You gotta make lemonade out of lemons. It don't matter if the lemons are kind of not too good. You gotta make lemonade, all right? You gotta make lemonade. What about you, Mr. Brandon? Oh, is it on? Can we turn his mic on, please?
It's on. It's on.
We don't just use his.
I believe that for me, it was the moment when I failed the bar exam for the first time. And, you know, I've been going to school since as long as I can remember. And I've worked my whole life to get to a certain point, finished law school, graduated, and now I'm in a position where I have to pass this test. Everything is relying upon me passing this test, and I failed. And so, you know, when you look around and you see everybody else passing it and going on with their life, making money, enjoying themselves, and I'm looking around at myself like, you know, what am I going to do? You know, how am I going to move forward? You know, am I going to have to find a new career, a new path, something along the lines of that? And then I just, you know, dug deep and just got into it, got back after it, and passed it. And now I'm here, you know, doing what I'm doing what you're doing, and being a positive reinforcement for, you know, the legal community in this area.
Awesome. That is amazing. Guys, I want you to take something. I want you to realize something. Each person up here had a huge problem. They had a huge situation that happened. Broken leg. Millions of dollars of infrastructure that you gotta rebuild and fix. Failed a bar exam. To become a lawyer, you know, when you get prepared for that, it's like any test. Oh, I don't want to fail this test. Oh man, I want to come up with this problem. I'm gonna have to figure out a way to build up in the whole city and put some more things in there. Oh man, I want to have to get my leg up. No, they all could have said these things, but they didn't. And that is the mind of a leader. That once you understand that everything has a solution, every problem has a solution, there's nothing in the world that can stop you. There's nothing in the world that stopped Miss Carla. There's nothing in this world that stopped Mayor Walker. There's nothing in this world that stopped Mr. Brandon. So there's nothing in this world that can stop you being a leader, all right? So wait, this is a great panel. I like this panel right here. Let's go. So let's go to this next question. Mr. Brandon, this one's for you. What are some of the positive impacts you had by stepping up and becoming a leader?
I believe, you know, one of the main things, specifically in this area, you know, is a lack of a lot of professionals, especially African-American professionals. So when I put myself out there and I make a decision to be a lawyer, make sure we do it full throttle and we give, you know, positive support and positive imaging for all the youth in the area, where how to carry yourself, how to dress, how to act, how to respond to problems, how to come up with solutions. And I think that's the main impact of leadership in the community, where you can show, you can have somebody say, hey, I want to be like him. You know, he looks like somebody I can follow after. And that's what I consider, you know, that leadership impact.
Ooh, yeah, I like that. Being the image, setting the tone. You gotta be a trailblazer. You're gonna set the trailblazer for the young generation and even the older generation as well. It doesn't matter. You're setting the standard, you're setting everything for everybody. And I love that. What about you, Mayor Walker? What's some positive impacts that give with you stepping up as a leader?
Well, I think that I like to talk about these guys at World Envision. I mean, here's a perfect example of two kids that came from New Orleans, came to Louisiana Tech. I doubt they even knew where Louisiana Tech was when they were living in New Orleans. They come here, they get an education, they start a business, they stay here, and they're employing people from Tech and people from the city too. But not only that, but they're doing events like this. And Saturday, they're doing another event. A couple of weeks ago, they had a basketball tournament. They had a fun run, or walk in my case, to raise funds. I mean, they've started an endowed scholarship. They've got a foundation. I mean, that's what leadership's all about, and they're showing it. And then, I'm sure they've had times when they think, what the heck, how is this going to work? But they just stay true to their course, they have set forth, and it's amazing what they've done. And that's great leadership.
Definitely great leadership. What about you, Ms. Carter? What are some positive impacts you've had by stepping up and becoming a leader?
Oh, wow. So again, I love the thought that you guys have put into putting this together. So for me, I'm also an attorney. I've been practicing for 12 years. And for me, moving into wellness coaching, which is where I am now, has been about that other side of leadership, right? So people have looked at me and admired me because I, was at a global law firm with 2,500 attorneys around the world. And I was in our Washington, D.C. office with 500 attorneys. And I moved to our Houston office, and I have Fortune 500 clients and high net worth individuals who are looking to me to save them from a federal investigation. And I made high, six-figure salary right out of law school, right? I walked away from over $300,000 a year, right, as the primary breadwinner for my family, because I was not able to lead from a place of passion and purpose. I'm grateful for everything that I learned. I'm grateful for all the spaces that I was able to be in and going around the world, literally, with the firm and all the cool clients and sexy work and fabulous outfits and, costly handbags. But at the point when I was not clear about the passion of the work that I was doing, right, it was time to make a pivot. And leadership for me looked like faith walking. Leadership for me looked like choosing my health and well-being. Leadership for me looked like choosing my family. And finally, leadership for me looked like pursuing that dream that I've always had of becoming an entrepreneur. So a lot of times y'all look at leadership as a position, leadership as a place, leadership as an office with all your degrees on the wall, right? Leadership is courage. Leadership is what they call chutzpah, right? You got a little something in you, some little unction, if you will, to do something different. Right. To do something different. Take the path less traveled, right? And so for me now, leadership looks like making sure women like me, who are juggling a ton of responsibilities at work and at home, are able to do it from a place of wellness, of mind, body, and spirit. How can I help a woman like me, where I was 10 years ago, have a path that's a little bit easier, a little bit straighter, and a little bit more peaceful as she bosses up in all the spaces where she wants to lead.
Right. That is amazing. Like, oh my goodness, I love this panel. This is amazing because what you guys are doing is you guys are sending positive impacts to us. You guys are giving us inspiration to go out there and do positive things. You guys are giving us inspiration to dress better, speak better, be attorneys, chase our passions and not worry about the money. Because sometimes we worry about the money too much and we may be stuck doing something for $1 million, but we're missing on the inside. And that's the worst place to be in. When you're doing something and you don't even like doing it, you're like, oh man, but the money good. I'm good, the money good, but are you good? Right? Are you happy? Are you making your positive impact? Are you making your mark in the world? And every single one of you have inspired me in just this little amount of time to go out there and do something positive. You know what I'm saying? And that's awesome. That's awesome. Let's go. Let's continue. Mayor Walker, this one's for you. Mayor Walker. Where do you see Ruston in the near future?
Well, in the near future, near to me is the next 20 and 30 years. We try to plan out that far because, I mean, government, I came from business, from banking, and when I came into government, the first or second meeting I had with my staff, I gave them a timeline on something we wanted to do, and my public works director looked at me and said, Mayor Walker, you need to double that because government works real slow. And I went, yeah, we're going to make it work faster. No, you're not going to make government work faster. It just doesn't happen. So we're planning out 30 and 40 years. What I see us being is we're really working really hard right now trying to find businesses that will come to Ruston to provide jobs because let's face it, 42% of our people live below the poverty level, so we need jobs. So we're looking for good jobs that we can bring to Ruston, jobs that will partner with tech and Grambling. I mean, you know, sometimes we talk just about tech, but we're a two-college town, in my opinion, because tech's located here, and most of the kids and the faculty that don't live in Grambling or on the Grambling campus live in Ruston. So we're truly a two-college town. So we've got a lot to offer from an educational standpoint, and that's what we've always had. We didn't have manufacturing and things like that. So we're looking for basically kind of high-tech jobs. Like right now, we're recruiting a company that's going to move from another large city in our state, and it's kind of like, it's not an Amazon, but it's a company that has a huge e-commerce piece, and all their work's done with robotics. All the orders are filled with robotics, all that kind of stuff. So I hope that we're a hub of tech jobs like that, because all of those tech jobs that might have to have a college education, there's still other folks that have to work there that don't have a college education, might not even have a high school education. But any jobs that we bring to our city helps our people out. So that's the reason our industrial park that we just built, we have a UPS hub right there, and we're building companies or trying to recruit companies around that need that UPS hub to be able to ship out. And let's face it, everybody orders online now, so that's a big, big part of it. So in 30, 40 years, I hope we're about 20,000 versus, 30,000 versus about 22 now. I hope tech is at 20,000 versus about 13. I hope Grambling is about 10 or 12. And I hope we've expanded our city limits to where we bring in more areas where we can build subdivisions. We need that a lot. We're doing a lot, and we've done a lot in the last 6 years. In infrastructure, we have a 20-year plan that we're 6 years into it. On infrastructure, when we finish that 20 years, and of course I won't be in office probably by then, but when we finish that, the entire infrastructure in our city will be, I'm not going to say totally up to speed, but in so much better shape. We're working on traffic. How do we get people in and out of the university, in and out of downtown? The Monroe Street project, which is a great project, it has a test bed that companies can come and test products right there in our city. So in 40 years, I hope we're a hub of technology jobs that are related to the university, but spin-off jobs from that employ a lot of our folks so that we can get that unemployed or that level of people living below poverty down to about 15% versus 42%.
Amazing. That is awesome. Look, that's one. Take note right there. Creating opportunities for others. Knowing that a vision like that caliber is going to take some time, and being okay with that time. You know what I'm saying? Rome wasn't built in a day. Country wasn't. The whole country, the whole system wasn't built in a day. It was built over time, centuries. You know what I'm saying? So when you're planning, when you're leading with the vision, you got to understand your vision may not work tomorrow, may not work next year, but it's going to work in about 20 years, 20, 30 years. It's going to work about 10 years, and it's going to create opportunities for others. Not just for myself, it's not going to make my living life easier. It's going to make other lives easier. You feel me? So, man, that is amazing. That is awesome. Let's go. Y'all ready for the next question? Let's go. Let's go. Here we go. Let's go. This one's for you. What are one of the most important skills a leader should have?
One of the most important skills that a leader should have
One of the most
is the ability to collaborate. And I love it, the guy who was talking about social media influencing earlier. Awesome. His name was?
James Hill.
James Hill. James Hill is awesome. Hey, James Hill. Was talking about 6 keys to being a social media influencer, and one of them was collaborate. And it was beautiful. You know, he laid it out: reach up to collaborate with people ahead of you, reach out to collaborate with people who are your peers, and reach down to collaborate with someone who needs to be mentored or brought up. So I'm huge on the ability to collaborate. It is a high skill. I would say 30 years ago, when I was super excited about running for president of the 5th grade, I was all about my abilities to be the first to take the step in that direction. And I think that's important, right? A leader has a vision, and they're willing to take the first step in that direction. And I used to say that all the time in 5th grade, right? A leader has a vision and is willing to take the first step in that direction. And I still absolutely believe in that. But I think time has taught us that real leadership is about collaboration and leveraging the power, passion, and influence of other folks.
Ooh, other folks, yeah, that's it. That's why I like that. Collaboration is a powerful, powerful thing. If you think you can do it by yourself, you better stop thinking like that, because you can't. You can't do everything by yourself. You need a team, you need people who need to share your vision, and you need people you need to learn how to utilize their strengths. You gotta utilize their passions, their thoughts. That's amazing. That's awesome, Carla. You guys want to pick up back on that? Piggyback off that?
I mean, I agree with that wholeheartedly.
Facts.
I like the collaboration, but I also love, and it's basically the same thing. We use partnerships every time we can in the city. We want to partner with businesses. We want to partner with the university. But then the other thing that I've found, and I've had to make myself do this, because a lot of time I want to talk more than listen. I mean, the key to so many issues is people just don't listen. If they'll listen, we can solve a lot more. Solve a lot more problems and listen more.
Yes, sir. So collaboration and listening. These are 2 of the most important skills that you should have, all right? Put them in your back pocket, save them for later, use them, all right? So, now, I know we touched a little bit on this, Mayor Walker, but I'm going to go ahead and ask again, because something may have came to your mind during this time. How has working with World Envision been a great impact for the community?
It's incredible. I mean, I just spoke to a group in Baton Rouge last week, and I showed a picture of World Envision and what they do, and I told the story. I mean, it's just incredible, because it gives us an example to tell everyone else. I just met a couple of guys here to my right who are doing basically the same thing. They won the Top Dog competition, and I told them, I said, hey, we want you to stay right here in Ruston. World Envision has fulfilled the model that we've been looking for in 7 years that I've been mayor. Kids come to Tech, get a degree, start a business, and stay here. I mean, that's just that's the perfect model of what we're looking for, because Tech is churning out, and Gramblin's churning out lots of graduates, and let's face it, most kids want to go to Dallas or Atlanta or some big city, but we've got a lot to offer right here. In Ruston, we've been trying to work on our quality of life issues so that we can encourage people and young people to stay here. We have an incentive package of tax structure that we can help new startup businesses, and so they've been the perfect model. They've been, in my opinion, the perfect 2 guys, because they're so accessible and they want to get out into the public. And that, I mean, this event today, giving back to the university where they graduated from is huge. Giving back to the community. You should have seen all the folks at our indoor facility, our sports complex. The basketball game was great, but just all the people that were there. And Marlon, who won? Those 2 guys can play a little hoops there. So anyway, it's been a great experience. We can't wait to see where this company is going. We hope that we will have to help them find 2 or 3 or 4 more buildings in the next 20 years as they continue to grow their business.
Definitely. Man, shout out World Envision, man. That's amazing. Shout out World Envision. Creating scholarships, creating a foundation, creating just creating a perfect model for a whole city, you know what I'm saying? And getting the support from the mayor of the city, Mayor Walker, and for them just to have that eye to eye, for them to have that relationship, that partnership, that collaboration is amazing.
And I want to touch on one other thing, and I don't know what the exact numbers are. They employ probably 50 kids. Most of them are either going to tech or Grambling. I mean, kids that I guarantee you didn't even know what a sewing machine was, but now they're sewing on the patches on stuff. I mean, that is huge. 50 jobs in a community like this is huge for us. So I really appreciate that. I talked all the time to students and to groups, and I talk about what the students bring to our city. They bring an enthusiasm, the energy that we don't have as 70-year-olds like myself. They provide, you know, us, the fact that the students are here, there's jobs that we have to provide for food services and everything else within our city. It makes our city a better place because we have to do more for infrastructure and traffic. So just the fact that they're providing jobs to students here helps this university and helps the city tremendously.
Amazing. Amazing. Shout out, brother. Shout out, man. Shout out, brother Bishop. Yeah, they got the drip. See, they got the drip. Yeah. All right, so let's go to the next question. This one's for Mr. Brennan Manning. You ready? Here we go. Explain the importance of being a leader and not a follower, especially by being a lawyer.
I think, well, I'll say specifically, coming in this community, it's a lot more older lawyers versus newer lawyers. So you don't want to follow the mode of the older lawyers because times have changed. So specifically dealing with the legal community, the legal profession, I mean, you want to come and bring some of this new innovative energy. I mean, the laws that were out there 20, 30 years ago when the older lawyers were moving around and the issues that they were thinking about, they're totally different. So in order for us to grow as a community, in order for people to step up and lead, you got to move with the times. So therefore, if you're a leader, you have to come out and say, hey, look, we can't do those old things. We have to do some new things. Get a part of the new way.
Right, definitely. And that's amazing. Now, I got a quick question, right, for the leaders up here, because we got great leaders up here. Does a great leader has to be a great follower sometimes? What are your thoughts on that? Ms. Carter?
Yes.
Yes. Why is that? Why is that?
No, I think it goes back to the concept of collaboration. I think it goes back to the idea that we're better together, right? We're stronger when we work together. And so if we're together, then sometimes I'm going to have to follow. Sometimes I'm going to have to do it your way or pursue your vision. I have to give a shout out to Ms. Kimberly Harvey, who was up here on the other panel, right? We're absolutely building something together, and sometimes I have to follow her way because she's got strengths that I don't have. I think that's what this really lends itself to. Everyone has their strengths. You know, those strengths came with the package, right? It is what it is. And if I'm trying to do and be all the things by myself, I can't really play to my strengths. So if I am playing to your strengths and allowing you to lead in this situation because this is where you're strong, I absolutely got to follow. And I'm good with that.
X. We're trying to make this happen. Let's go. Go ahead, everyone.
No doubt, you got to follow. I mean, leaders like when Tech and the city Ruston work together. Sometimes the city takes the lead, sometimes Tech takes the lead. But also, I have to follow sometimes our leadership team within the city. I don't try to micromanage any of my departments. My public works director knows a whole lot more about the streets and the water and sewer and everything else than I do. So I have to follow his lead and his ideas sometimes. And that's just part of being the boss or the leader, whichever way you want to say it. But always look to those folks that you have working for you, that you hired them for a reason. They know about that. My water director knows about water. I know about it. I turn it on its own. I don't know anything else about it.
Right. Now, that's amazing that you guys say part of which your strengths and utilize your strengths. I mean, utilize your strengths, part of which your weaknesses. Right? That's what my business partner said. Where's the Jigger Jack? Jigger Jack. Back then, he always said, that's an operations manager, Virginia Rose. He always says, you gotta utilize your strengths and partner with your weaknesses. I'm gonna say it one more time. Utilize your strengths, partner with your weaknesses. Because once you do that, you're gonna have everything covered. Well, if I don't know anything about water, but he does, he can take care of that. And it's still gonna get done. And you as a leader, you gotta be able to have that you gotta know that. You gotta know that, hey, he's good at that, I'm not. Let's move together. You know what I'm saying? So this has been an amazing panel. Let's see if we got some questions out in the audience for the leaders. We got any questions out there? No questions. No, but oh, you got maybe the red suit.
How do you like you said being a leader you have to be able to adjust with the times and always do something new. How is that? When the times is always changing, people gravitate to new things every day. And I'm saying that for myself because I'm a content creator and I create content, and it's hard to differentiate you from somebody else and you're following the trends. So from y'all powerful leaders, how do y'all differentiate yourself, and going with the times?
Well, I say it goes back to one of the panelists mentioned. Listen. I mean, if you listen to the times, you listen to what's going on, you take that in, and then also you can collaborate. So you listen and collaborate, and that's why you have new youth coming out, new ideas, new people to work with, and they can bring you with a new culture. And now you can evolve and you can move with the times instead of just existing.
Since I'm the oldest one on the panel, or the oldest one in this room, I can address this more than anybody probably. I have to, you have to read a lot or study a lot or watch a lot of different podcasts or whatever, but also I find myself going to a lot of conferences